To my friend Jitin, I will only say that I think many have quit before you. You've seen their fate. It's all right, you do that. But the reality is that, it does raise questions on ideological commitment and principles to a great extent. Some of you are obviously aware, and you know that Jitin Prasadji's father, late Jitin Prasadji, had contested against Mrs. Gandhi when she had taken the command of the Congress party. He had lost an election of presidency against her. And even then he was accommodated as a vice president, and he continued to be one of her close advisors. Despite the ideological differences he may have had to begin with. She never rebuked him. She kept, she listened to him. She kept his advice close. And after his sad demise, Jitinji had come into politics. He was given the ticket from Shahjahanpur. He won that seat twice over. And after that, in the 10 years of the UPA government, he served in various ministries as Minister Independent Charge, Minister of State, whether it was Steel, HRD, Petroleum and Natural Gas, and ministries like that. And these were important portfolios to hold. And so it baffles me. And I say this with all humility. I say this with a lot of sadness, because I consider Mr. Prasada as one of my, good acquaintances, a friend. I would say that at a time like this, when the country is going through its huge crisis, a pandemic of this nature, and people who are responsible for the kind of mismanagement that one has seen, whether it is on account of not enough oxygen being available, not enough people being protected with vaccines, drug shortage. These people exist in the UP government headed by Yogi Adityanath and in the central government headed by Mr. Narendra Modi. And as far as vaccination and oxygen is concerned, it stops at the doorstep of the Prime Minister. There is no other way to define this. And is Mr. Prasad comfortable being in their company? Are you comfortable being in the company of people who presided over deaths that could have been avoided? Are you comfortable being in the company of people who, because of whose negligence, thousands of lives were lost? Because of whom, and who have consistently for the last 7 years clamped down upon democratic institutions, on the freedom of speech and expression, consistently curbed it. Every time there is a valid question raised, there's a sedition charge that comes along. Are you comfortable being in company of people like this? And I would also say this is not just a battle for the next parliament elections or the next parliament seat or a Rajya Sabha or a ministerial berth. I think this battle is far more than that. It is a battle between two ideological differences between what India should be and who we stand for in public life. Do we stand for the rich and the famous and the moneyed, or do we stand for people who are deprived? Do we stand for people who have lost their voice, or do we stand for people who want to grab every opportunity to be in the headline? And this ideological war, this war of principles, I'm sad Mr. Prasada has chosen to do a complete somersault and go to an ideology that he was vehemently opposed to. So all I will say is that, there are people, there are workers in states where we are not in power for the last 20, 25 odd years. They continue to fight on the ground. They continue to stand for Mahatma Gandhi's India. They continue to stand for the ideology of the Congress party. And they have not been suitably rewarded. But for all those people who've quit and gone, you have been suitably rewarded. And to my friend Jitin, I will only say that I think many have quit before you. You've seen their fate. It's all right, you do that. But the reality is that, it does raise questions on ideological commitment and principles to a great extent. और मुझे दुख है कि जिन 10 सालों में आप भारत सरकार के तमाम महकमों में मंत्री थे, आज आप पलट के ये कहते हैं कि उन 10 सालों में या उसके कुछ कार्यकाल में मैं सोचता था कि ऐसा नेतृत्व हो। तो या तो आप तब ईमानदार नहीं थे या आज आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं। लेकिन दिक्कत की बात यह है कि सहूलियत की राजनीति की जो आप बात करते हैं, वो इसी को कहा जाता है। विचार विहीन, सिद्धांत विहीन राजनीति यही होती है।